have a makeup tutorial on this look right here. It is a smoky plum eye look along with beautiful lashes and this kind of grayish toned nude lip, which I absolutely love. And a lot of you guys had requested this look on my yearly favorites video and my Instagram picture, I believe. So that's why I decided to do it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you do, please make sure to click that like button because it would mean so much to me, and maybe even subscribe. So saying that, let's just get straight into the video. Okay, so today I want to kind of do a talk through video just because I feel like I can explain more with this than a voiceover, but I'll try to make sure it's not as long as my last talk through. So yeah, let's start off with some primer. I am going to start off with my Becca Primer, which you guys know that I have been loving. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that. The way I like to apply this primer is just simply take a good amount on the finger. And then I was told that you should kind of like press it into your skin because that's what really helps with the makeup lasting for a long time. So that's exactly what I am going to do. I like really broke out on this side and I did not on this side, so I don't know how that works, but that's what happened. And I like to put a lot on my T-zone because that's what gets super duper oily. So I like to just work it in and then just press it into the skin. First on my smile lines because it helps so much on those areas. Totally already messed up because we're going to start off with the eyes. So if we have any fallout, we could just take it off, but it's okay because I didn't put anything under the eyes, so we're good. So the reason I'm going to start off with my eyes is because we're doing a smoky eye, and I like to start off with my eyes first just so all the shadow doesn't really like fall onto the foundation and the blush, all the hard work we've already done. So let's go ahead and start with the eyes. As you guys know, I like to start off with some concealer by MAC just to neutralize the base of my eye and make everything one. So now that we've done that, we're just going to go ahead and set that in place. I like to use this MAC Skin Finish in the shade Give Me Sun just because it has a little bit of a tint to it, and I feel like sometimes using a translucent powder creases easily. Guys, so I had to totally go and wash off the Becca Primer because it started to look really weird once I didn't put the foundation on top because it is kind of sticky. So I just went to wash it off, but we'll do that part again. I want to kind of keep this in the video without anything out because I want you guys to know that we all make mistakes when we do our makeup. So it's totally fine. Just keep calm and keep going. So we're going to use our Morphe 35N palette for the eyes. Right here, mine broke into pieces. I don't know how. Oh well, but I love the mirror in this, so I'm still gonna keep it like this. Love the shades in this palette because you can really use them in the crease, on the lid, to create smoky eyes, neutralize, and everything. I love this palette. So let's just get started. I've been loving using this little orange shade right here to kind of create a transition shade in my crease because it really works well with a darker complexion such as myself. So let's just go ahead, take a big blending brush, and we shall go and start blending. So putting it right into the crease, as you can see, a little bit higher, and we're just gonna go back and forth. Part doesn't need to be too neat because we're going to go back in and add more once the eye look is done. We're just kind of creating a little base, if you want to call it. So I just use a really light hand and keep going back and forth, back and forth. It's as simple as that, and we can move on to our next shade. So next we are going to use a little bit more of a denser blending brush, and we are going to go in with this brown shade right here. This is going to kind of start to create a crease in our lid, but of course it will also help the black we're going to put as a base to our smoky eye to blend that out. I don't know if that sentence made sense. Put it right at the tip of the brush. Hold your brush straight and just work it back and forth again, but you're going to focus more into the crease this time. So we're not going to take it as high as we did with the orange. To kind of make sure I focus it in the inner corner, the outer corner, and then just simply brush it in between in the center of the lid. I like to also extend it out a little bit because we are going to make our smoky eye look a little bit winged up. There we go, that is that. Again, doesn't have to be super neat because we're still going to put our base. So speaking of our base, we're going to get a black jumbo crayon or kind of a paint pot or something like that. So I am going to be using black paint pot, no, fluid line from MAC, because I love using this as just kind of a base for smoky eyes because it works really, really well and it doesn't crease, which I love. So I'm going to just kind of use a very flat brush. As you can see, it's really flat. It really doesn't matter as long as the brush is dense. It will really be easy to kind of just apply it all over the crease and make it look neat. So let's just go ahead and apply it. Being a good amount on my brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this. I like to use a black as a base for this purple smoky eye because I want the purple smoky eye to look really dark, whereas if I just put it onto my lid, it's not going to last as much and it's not going to be as pigmented and as smoky as I want it to be. So that's why I'm going in with the black. As you can see, I'm literally just applying it all over the lid. You want to make sure that it's not going all the way up to the crease, like in the crease. So when we go to the crease area, I like to kind of just shape it out as you can see me doing right now. This part you do kind of want to look neat as I did here. It will be sometimes a little bit harder to create a neat crease area if you have more of like foldy eyelids such as myself, but don't worry, we're going to blend it out as well. And yeah, another thing you want to make sure is that you're making sure all the black is even throughout the entire lid, because if not, when we put our eyeshadow on top, it's going to look a little bit different in certain spots, you know what I mean, and look a little bit patchy. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye. This is usually the hardest part of this for me because sometimes when I do the black, it doesn't like match. So what I like to do is once I do that eye, I like to like close my eyes and take like a picture and see the difference, and then I'll go ahead and fix it up. So that's just a tip for you guys in case you guys ever try doing smoky eyes and you're just like, it doesn't look even. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill up this eye as well. So now that we have it as even as possible, I took a couple of pictures and made sure it's quite as even as I can get. It's okay if it's not super duper perfectly even because, sorry, my mirror fell, but it's okay, it's still alive. So it's okay if it's not super duper even, just because we're gonna go ahead and blend it out anyways, so it's fine, but you just want to get it as close as possible as I tried over here. I don't know how it looks in the camera, so hopefully it looks a little bit even. But yeah, now I will show you guys how to blend it out and then go ahead and put some color on top. Since this is more of a purple-ish plum smoky eye, we are going to go ahead with the shade right over here because we want a shade that's somewhat close to black, but not necessarily black because we want to be able to blend it out, and we're going to put purple on the lid anyways, so we want it to be a little bit darker than the purple shade we're going to do on the lid. So that's why I'm choosing the shade right here. We're going in with the dense blending brush because you want to really be able to blend out the shade. And I'm literally going at the borderline of where the black is and the creases. So you want to really, really put a lot of pressure and just blend it out. I'm doing circular motions because this is always what kind of like helps with blending for me, so that's what I'm doing, back and forth. And it's okay if this color gets onto the black because we're going to put a purple on top of that anyway. And then when we go a little bit higher than the crease area, I like to just kind of really light-handedly kind of fluff it out to make it look like it's more like a grading effect rather than just like harsh crease. I'm just going to work at this, keep going back and forth until I feel like it's nicely blended out. Now that we've done that, it will just look a little bit something like this, but we're not done yet, so don't worry. Now we're going to go ahead and put on the main shade on our black eyelids to create the plummy effect. Now I originally went in with this shade, so that's what I'm going to put in first, but I also added on another shade from another palette just to get that really plummy shade, and I'm going to do it just like that right now too, just so you guys really see how I created that exact look. Just going to apply it all over the lid, just using a regular eyeshadow brush. When I originally applied it, I thought it looked too purple, but for some reason the eyeshadow kind of sinks into the black or like just kind of fades in, so it ends up looking a little bit smokier anyways, so you're totally fine with just going with this shade. I kind of pack it on because, as I said, it does kind of just like fade into the black. So that is the purple. As you can see, it looks really purple, so I wanted to go in with something a little bit darker. So went in with the Tarte Lip Palette, and I used this really dark purpley shade right here. It's so beautiful. I love it. I just took that shade and I went right over it. I could have just probably went with the shade to begin with, but I did not. we've done that, it will look a little bit like this, and I just want this to kind of transition out well. So I'm just going to take this with the blending brush again, that same exact purple shade, and we're just going to lightly fluff it into the crease, just so it gives it a nice gradient effect rather than it just going into that dark color we used earlier. Now, like, it's coming together a little bit well, but I feel like we could still blend a little bit more, make it a little bit more equal. So we're going to go back in with this shade right here, that like dark purpley plum shade. So we're going to take that shade and work it back into the crease just to add a little bit more dimension. Now that we've done that, it will look a little bit like this. As you can see, it's really smoky. I'm going to go back in with this really fluffy blending brush and the orange shade we used earlier. And we're just going to go really light-handedly and fluff that into like the outside part of all the darkness you see. So like really high into the crease. This is what really makes it look really blended out. And it always adds a little bit of a finishing touch, which I love. So really light-handedly, as you can see, I'm just putting it right on top of the crease area. That just makes it look super duper smoky and like really blown out, which I love. Our next step is going to be to take a face wipe. I'm using a clean and clear one, and we're just going to clean up the sides. I'm going to make it go on a slight angle because, as I mentioned earlier, I want to kind of make it look like a winged effect, cat eye eyeshadow effect. So I'm just going to make sure both the sides are equal, just like that. And we're going to also just take off any excess product that has fallen on our face. And now we can start with the rest of the face, and we will come back to the eyes near the end. Just went ahead and put on the primer, the Becca Primer, the way I did earlier, and I didn't bother doing it again because I'm sure you guys don't care to see it again. And now we are going to go ahead with the Step 1 primer, which I like to use underneath the eyes to help with creasing. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a good amount and just apply it right into the eyes. We can start with the concealer, foundation, and all that stuff. For concealer, as always, I'm going to use my Nars concealer, which I love. And you guys know how I apply it, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. As you guys can see, I've applied it under the eyes, on any blemishes, and my smile lines. I'm just going to go ahead and blend it all out. So after we are done that, our skin will look a little something like this, and we're going to go in with foundation. The foundation I am using today is the Nars All Day Luminous Wear Foundation in the shade Macao. I think that's how you would pronounce it. So you're supposed to use this foundation with the very little amount of product because it's really high coverage. But let's be real, I like a lot of coverage, so I do put a little bit extra. You're supposed to use, I believe, 2 or 3 drops for your entire face, but I use a lot. So that's 1 pump. So pumps, I meant pumps. So I like to use about 3 pumps, but a good 3 pumps. Looking for a good coverage foundation, this is your foundation if you have oily skin. To really blend everything out, it will look a little bit like this. Now right now I feel like it doesn't look like it matches my skin too much, but I promise you it does. This lighting is a little bit yellow for some reason, so that's why it kind of looks like it. But yeah, as you can see, it's really full coverage and I love it. So now we can go on to highlighting and contour. I'm going to do too much contouring today because I do have a really bad breakout right here, but I am going to add just a little bit, just to add some dimension at least. So I'm going in with the shade from Anastasia right here. So that's all the contour I'm going to do today. I just don't want to really irritate this area, so that's why. But we are going to go ahead and highlight under our eye. We are going to take our MAC Pep and Prime pen in the shade Bright Forecast, and we're just going to draw lines right under the eye area in a triangular formation. I'm not going too high because I don't want to end up blending it into the eyeshadow. Use my same foundation brush to just blend it out, because that way you have a little bit of the foundation on it and you're blending it in with the color and it doesn't end up being too bright. So there you go, that brightens up the area so much. I love this product. And now we're going to merge. I am going to use the Bandai Luxury Banana Powder as always. Of course, I like to do underneath contour as well. We let this bake for a couple of minutes. I'm just gonna go off and fill in my brows because you guys have seen it so many times and it's never anything different. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. So now that I have filled in my brows to the best of my ability, to be honest, I'm not good with them and I still need to improve. So let's just go ahead and take off all this banana powder. There we go. I love how matte and like kind of lifted it makes my face look. And yeah, time for some blush and highlight. So for blush, we're going in with a shade called Seduction, which I absolutely love. It's from Nars. We're just gonna go ahead and apply it. To be honest, I don't remember what highlight I used in my video, but today we're going to be using Champagne Pop. Pack on that highlight today. A little bit on the nose. There we go, that's super duper highlight. And now that we're done all of this, we can just go right back to the eyes and finish it up. First thing we're going to do to finish up our eyes is go ahead with some eyeliner, which I'm obviously going to be using the Kat Von D Tattoo Trooper liner for. I absolutely love it, you guys know that. I'm just gonna go ahead and take it. I'm going to follow the natural like outside V of the eye and just create a wing. You can go thick or thin with this. I'm gonna try doing as thin as possible. Let's be real, it's gonna get a little bit thick though. Connect it to the eye. Yep, there we go, got thick. And then we're just gonna go ahead and fill it up. And once I fill it up, I just go back in and attach. Okay, so now that we've done both the eyes, I went ahead and did the other eyes liner as well, of course, as you can see. Sometimes there's like a little gap between the liner and the eyeshadow, so I like to just take a brush and just really blend it into the line. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that right now. Brush, literally just blend it, and it's like super easy. You just want to use a light hand though, so it doesn't get super messy. And yeah, and at this time you can go back in and blend out anything you want with the eyes or add in anything. So I'm just gonna go and make sure for one last time that it's like quite blended with the light hand. Kind of happy with how it looks, so hopefully it looks a little bit good on camera as well. But I might go in with a little bit more of the orange just to add a little bit more of a shazam to the eye. Really light-handedly using a really little amount of product. Just really light-handedly just putting that in. Yeah, I like that though. So that's about it for the eyes, and we're going to go ahead and do some highlighting. I am just going to use a matte shade for under the brows. So I'm going to go in with this shade right over here. It's just like a basic creamy beige shade. Just taking a small blending brush to do that part. So once we do that part, we want to go ahead and add in something for the inner corner to add a little bit of highlight. In my last video when I had this makeup look on, I used Shimma Shimma by Makeup Geek Cosmetics, which is just like a pale taupey shimmery shade, but I wanted to use a gold. I just couldn't find a perfect gold. But today I'm going to go ahead and just put on some Champagne Pop right in the corner because I really think a gold inner corner would make it look a little bit nicer. So we're just going to use the same brush, get a lot of the product on, just put it right in the corner. There we go. Now I really like that. Ta-da! In with some black pencil liner just to tie up the entire eye look. And this is the Dior waterproof liner in the shade Carbon. So I really like this liner, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it. That just makes everything really pop. Like you can see the difference between that and this. I'm just gonna go ahead. Oh my god, I dropped my Champagne Pop. Let's pray it didn't. No! It cracked a little bit. Oh my god. At least it wasn't as bad as my opal. My opal like shattered completely. Oh my god, I'm so sad. But it's still like kind of loose out of the thing now. I'm so sad. That was really sad. That's what I don't like about the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors. They crack so easily. If you drop it, that's it. And they're so pricey. But it's okay. What was I saying? So I'm going to put on my absolute favorite lashes right now. They're super duper nice. And they are from Glamup Lashes. So let me just grab that. These beauties right here. You can't really even see it, but they're super duper nice. And they're really dramatic, which I love. And lashes are called Sublime. That's what they're called. So I am just going to go ahead and apply this. Just want to make sure that the glue dries a little bit. It gets a little bit tacky before you put it on the lashes. That way you're not going to make a mess, and it's super duper easy that way. So just a little tip, since I'm not going to actually show you. So I just put them on. As you can see, they're so nice. I love them. They're so pretty. I love them. But I have to tell you, yeah, while this dries, we can go ahead and do the lips. So in that video, I wore cacao on my lips, a little bit with stone mixed in with it. But I think I said I only wore cacao by accident, but I did put a little bit of stone in it as well. And I can't find my cacao at all. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply stone right on top, but the shade is really similar to cacao. Cacao is just a little bit more pinky gray, and this is more of like a brownish gray, but I think this one might look a little bit better. By cacao, I meant cacao by ColourPop Cosmetics. So this is MAC Stone. So there we have it, guys. Here is the finished look. I hope it kind of came out as I did it last time, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to click that like button and maybe even subscribe, because it would mean so much to me. And again, let me know if you guys like talk throughs or if you prefer kind of voiceovers, and I can do whatever you guys like, so we're good. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys, have a great day.